My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. It is happening, ladies and gentlemen. James Comey has turned, flipped, he's singing. He ratted on McCabe, however you want to describe it. Jeff Sessions, the DOJ prosecutors, have interrogated not just a Peter Strzok brunch with Hillary Clinton, where he asks, do you know what the C means? Confidential. And she says, catnip? Casserole? I just don't know. And Peter Strzok, number 2 counterintelligence officer, says, yeah, no problem. You're fine. You're fine. But we're going to go ahead and get Michael Flynn and trap him and say that he lied to us even though he didn't. But you're okay. You're okay, Madam Secretary. The whole thing was an obvious setup. Steele dossier is a garbage document. The whole thing is based on hearsay, rumor, innuendo, a fabricated narrative. And by the way, I want to thank people who are progressive, who still watch me, for dealing with me when I explain that I have a YouTube channel in addition to this one called HA Second Amendment. Definitely check out my latest segment. I'm shooting a Glock 19 safely and responsibly following YouTube guidelines. Definitely check out that channel. You gotta bear with me, to the progressives who watch this channel, just because I'm trying to grow the Second Amendment channel, and obviously this is a much bigger platform that I can introduce that to people who might be interested. Anyway, that is below in the pinned comment. Let's get back to James Comey's cold-blooded take on Andrew McCabe's criminal referral. So Comey has already, we have the Inspector General report coming out. We already have calls for criminal referrals, calls for the DOJ to formally charge everyone from Hillary Clinton to James Comey to Andrew McCabe. That was by Ron DeSantis. This was months back. Now we're waiting for the Attorney General. For Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General's report. Just today and yesterday evening, we learned that James Comey has been interrogated by prosecutors. If I were to tell you this in 2016, you would have said I was crazy. Already people said I was crazy when I told everyone that Hillary Clinton could not win. By the way, on my Twitter account, at H.A. Goodman Author, for like the profile or, about this person on the profile page, I link that actual YouTube segment where I say that Hillary Clinton is unelectable. And I explain that she will eventually lose to Trump if she becomes nominee. But this is really interesting. This is the Washington Post. James Comey's cold-blooded take on Andrew McCabe's criminal referral. So he goes, what's gone on so far has been the accountability mechanisms of the department working because it's a department that's committed to the truth, Comey said. This is regarding McCabe's criminal referral. They're like, hey, what do you think of the number 2, your buddy? I'm like, well, it's about accountability. And they're committed to the truth. I don't know whether there's a criminal referral. There is. Okay, whatever. He added, noting that he has no independent knowledge of what was reported in the press. Here we go. But he has no knowledge of what was reported. But he's going to take the Steele dossier, which is nonsense, about prostitutes peeing on a bed, and use that to actually just thrust the nation into a Trump-Russia, Cold War, McCarthy-era insanity, hysteria. But he has no knowledge of, he has to make sure, what he's heard in the press is complete fact. But he used the Steele dossier to initiate FISA warrants and investigation, and there's nothing factual there. Ask BuzzFeed, they're suing the DNC. But that's part of accountability, an examination of what the consequences should be if there was material lying. So this article is below. This is the Washington Post. See, I quote from the Washington Post. James Comey's cold-blooded take. Remember when Dave Chappelle would be like, cold-blooded? When he used to the Rick James skit with Charlie Murphy. This is cold-blooded. This is cold-blooded. This is the most cold-blooded. And it's actually the Washington Post is, every once in a while is right. James Comey's cold-blooded take on Andrew McCabe's criminal referral. He already stated also that he's willing to testify against McCabe. This is a guy who's going to face a criminal referral eventually for his own lying and insanity. His own craziness. But he's ready to take down everybody. Comey is in a very interesting position of power, or leverage, I should say, not so much power. Leverage. Trump and Sessions have all the power, although Sessions is just, who knows what's going on with him. Sessions is interesting. It's like he knows that everyone's lying. He knows that these people are, just cutthroat, dirty, underhanded, caught up in just this overt cover-up of Clinton emails and an overt fabrication of Trump Russia. No evidence of Trump Russia. A mountain of evidence regarding Clinton emails. So it's like, who knows what Sessions is doing, or like what Sessions and Trump are doing? Is it like when Trump calls up Sessions and Sessions is like, "Hello, Mr. President, how are you? Good. It is such a pleasure to hear your voice. Yes. May I say, Mr. President, that pardon for Dinesh D'Souza, that's going to win you the African American vote." "What? He's Indian?" "Well, I always thought he looked Apache." "What? No, from India. Okay. You should go ahead and Google YouTube. Do you ever go on YouTube? Go on YouTube right now and type in Hillary Clinton, Mahatma Gandhi. Yes. Well, she's a racist. She is a racist. She made a joke about Gandhi. Go on YouTube right now. Racist joke. Well, I know they call you and I. Well, I know that. Well, I know that because they don't care. Well, they're liberals. What do you expect? Yes, I know. So how are you today? Oh, McCabe and Comey? Oh, you should have heard what Comey said about McCabe. Oh, he sung like Dolly Parton at Dick Cheney's 50th left ventricle heart monitoring party. Yes. Oh, he said so many great things. He said that McCabe took money from Terry McAuliffe, cutthroat Terry McAuliffe. Yes. Oh, we're gonna investigate him real soon. Again. He said that McCabe lied. McCabe's a liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay. I got to tell you, Mr. President, it's really nice to hear your voice. No, I'm not coming on to you. No. This is a platonic. Well, my goodness, Mr. President, I don't know what. Oh, you're joking. Well, thank you, sir. All right now. Yeah, he basically gave me all the ammunition needed to indict McCabe. But the funny thing is, I already spoke to McCabe. Yes. No. Yes. And he's ready to go ahead and give me all the ammunition I need to indict Comey. Well, I know. Well, I'm stuck with these people here. I got Horowitz. I got Rosenstein. Comey. McCabe. I'm floating in the sea of Jews and Catholics. And then I know. And then you got Huber. You add the Mormons. I deserve the Medal of Honor. Okay, thank you, sir. No, I know. I know Ivanka's Jewish. Okay. That was just a joke. Oh, okay. Well, you're not gonna. Well, no. Okay, you're gonna fire me for another reason. Okay, great. I'm joking. Oh, yeah. And now I know you're joking. Okay.
Well, you have a great day now. We'll get McCabe. Yeah, he's already indicted. We're gonna charge him. Yes. Okay. You have a great day now. Subscribe to HA Second Amendment. Yes, I will. I'm from Alabama. I love firearms. Okay. Have a great day. And you know the NRA retweeted his article in the Daily Caller? Yes. Okay. Have a great day. I'm gonna go. Okay. Bye.
That is, my goodness. That was like crazy. What happened there? It's insane. The only reason I did that is because people were telling me that they love the Sessions impression, so I took it to extreme length of time. But within that whatever it was, Sessions has all the evidence he needs to ensure that Comey, who only knows how to lie, is eventually telling the truth. So sometimes interrogators, they find like one kernel of truth or something factual, and then they twist it and they say, oh, your buddy went ahead and said you did this while you were at this location. Then the suspect says, well, how does the interrogator know that we were all that at that location? But that's not true. My former friend was wrong, so I'm going to go ahead and then turn on. So they play all these games, and what took place with Comey and McCabe is that you heard it in the Washington Post article. Comey is he's in constant bureaucratic nonsense mode. So he's like, well, it's just about, I don't know whether there's a criminal referral. He knows very well there's a criminal referral. This was in several weeks back. He knew very well in April when there was an actual criminal referral from Horowitz. But that's part of accountability, an examination of what the consequences should be if there was material lying. So what he's saying is that the FBI is justified in firing his former number two, the person under him, the person he worked with, presumably the person that he was friends with or close to, or at least had a relationship where he was the number two. McCabe worked under Comey. McCabe was, Comey was McCabe's boss. When Comey said, hey, do this, do that, McCabe said, okay, you want me to jump how high? Now, Comey is still in a position that he feels of authority. Okay, so then not only do you have James Comey's cold-blooded take on Andrew McCabe's criminal referral. Okay, so let's just hear this. Oh, forget it. I don't agree to any use of cookies. All right. Prosecutors question Comey for probe into McCabe. Prosecutors are questioning Comey not for their health. And these aren't prosecutors under a Loretta Lynch Department of Justice. Now Sessions is like slow and maybe mentally challenged. Who knows what's going on with Sessions? Either he's a master strategist and tactician, or he's just a bumbling buffoon, or maybe a little bit of both. But Jeff Sessions is not going to go down in history as the worst attorney general we've ever had, presiding over serious crimes and a mountain of evidence regarding Comey and McCabe and Strzok and Page and Nellie Orr and Bruce Orr and all these, because now there's political will. So even if he wanted to cover all of this, he couldn't. Now the Inspector General report could be what Trump and Sessions need to fire Mueller, to indict all these people, to eventually indict Clinton. Nobody is going to say, there's only so much that they can spin. Susan Rice accused of unmasking names. Media says, oh my God, what, you're crazy. Then she admits she unmasked names. Then media says, well, of course she had to. Same with the wiretapping. Same with the Steele dossier. Initially, if you remember, the FISA, people were saying, well, the FISA, got the FISA judge. The Democratic Party and CNN, all of them were saying, well, there was enough evidence for the FISA judge to give a warrant. This must have been crazy. Then there was like, oh yeah, the Steele dossier. I was saying in my channel, the Steele dossier was almost certainly used. And then we found out, yeah, the Steele dossier was used. But before all of them were saying, no, the Steele dossier wasn't used. There was a whole mountain of evidence. Oh, the Steele dossier? Well, a lot of it was true. No, a lot of it's not true. The most important parts of it are not true. Ask BuzzFeed. They're suing the DNC. The biggest story in politics is BuzzFeed suing the DNC. Okay? That's the biggest story in politics. Of course, nobody wants to talk about it, but it's the biggest story in politics. It encompasses every single aspect of the Trump-Russia nonsense, myth. You have a publication beholden to the Democratic Party, doing the Democratic Party and the DNC and Hillary Clinton a monumental favor, publishing the dossier, getting the urinating prostitutes and all of these things into America's consciousness. Leave it to Clinton, Bill and Hillary, both of them, to introduce urinating prostitutes into America's consciousness. Okay? And then try to say it was Trump. And then, when BuzzFeed goes ahead and publishes this, tries to be WikiLeaks, it backfires. Not only does it backfire, but it exposes James Clapper, Jake Tapper, he was even part of it, Mother Jones journalists. All these people were part of spreading rumors, lies, and hearsay. And Comey used that to start all of this. And he used some other information that has nothing to do with the $35 billion budget allocated to the FBI, CIA, and NSA. But McCabe, not only is he a part of all of this, but he knew of Anthony Weiner's computer before anyone else, a month before Comey's letter. And then they're going to ask Comey, well, what did he do? Did you know about Anthony Weiner's laptop? If Comey says yes, the next question will be, well, why the hell didn't you tell him? Profanity alert. Why the heck didn't you tell anyone? Or if he says no, then he throws McCabe under the bus again. The big issue for my 17-minute crowd, the big issue is that McCabe told the media about ongoing Clinton Foundation probes. The hilarious part of that is that he didn't do so because the Clinton Foundation is obviously a money laundering scheme and he wanted to let people know about, everything that's going on. He did so because he wanted to seem tough on the Clinton Foundation because the Clintons gave his family hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then he recused himself a week before the election. He presided over. And then the notion that you could get money, hundreds of thousands of dollars from anyone and be objective is absurd. If you're willing to take the money, hundreds of thousands, 700 to 1.2 million, according to Dick Morris, if you're willing to take the money from somebody, you're also saying that you're not only okay with that person, but you owe that person something. And that's the way the Clintons work. She says, oh, I didn't know how the SAP intelligence was transferred. That's Brian Pagliano. Oh, I didn't give the number two at the FBI, his wife, $1 million. That was Terry McAuliffe. So they have this, oh, I didn't take money from 85 donors, $156 million. No, that's the Clinton Foundation. Oh, I didn't go ahead and pay Christopher Steele. That was Perkins Coie. So it's so blatantly obvious. But then with Trump, it's like Michael Cohen, the fixer. He's the fixer. And then Mueller's team. $17 million. Break down Michael Cohen's door. You go there. Yeah. It's so stupid. And all for Stormy Daniels. Okay, so he had sex with a porn star. Big deal. Who cares? Who cares? We can go on forever. Give me your thoughts below. They kept on saying, oh, this person's going to flip and sing and sing and flip and flip and sing and flip and sing. This is a huge story. And this vindicates you and me and everyone who saw this from day one. The original, just right before Comey was fired, we knew these people. I was talking about McCabe and the money from Terry McAuliffe. What? During the election. Nobody knew who McCabe was. Nobody knew who Strzok was. Nobody knew who Lisa Page. That's what I'm saying. No good deed goes unpunished for Clinton. Do you think anyone knew who Lisa Page was? Do you think anyone knew who Peter Strzok was? You do something to help Clinton, and it just bites you in the behind. It's helping Clinton is literally like, hey, look, there's that python or that rattlesnake. Let me see if I can go feed it, this mouse. And then you get bit by the rattlesnake. Well, what did you think? And there's a fable, or was it parable about the whole, I keep on getting it wrong, the scorpion and the frog or whatever. But there's no good deed goes unpunished with the Clintons. Nothing. And when Democrats get obliterated politically, it'll be so fantastic. I can't tell you. Let's look at the polls again. Polls. Midterms. 2018. Yes. Oh, looky. You know when they were like, me likey Mueller? Like, when CNN, during CNN's, there was like a video of, one of, who was it? Michael Caputo, I believe, one of the Trump campaign people who had their lives ruined by Mueller. We're paying him taxpayer money, $20 million or so, to ruin other people's lives, so they have to spend money. It's just a giant waste of money. And then the comments, like, zero compassion from, the compassionate, wonderful, liberal people. I used to be one of them. Now, I'm not conservative, but I'm just, like, almost apolitical in a way in terms of a label. But I'm a staunch Second Amendment advocate. But there, in the comments section, where you see this person, like, practically crying about how Mueller is just, like, destroying his life. They're like, oh, me likey Mueller. This is getting good. Yeah. You lie with dogs, you get fleas. They just they actually think that Trump is as corrupt as Clinton, but they don't realize that their suspicion, had they used that same suspicion against Clinton, like, she would have already been jailed in prison. But you have Vox and you have everyone else saying, it's no problem. 85 donors from $156 million, $156 million from 85 donors, no problem. If Trump got like $1 from somebody and then they met that, and then Trump met that person, it'd be like hashtag $1, hashtag, oh my God, it's all throughout Twitter. By the way, my Twitter handle is at H.A. Goodman author. I've been shadow banned for like, a year now. I've been stuck at 28,000 Twitter, followers on Twitter and this is like as I've gone from like, 70, 80, 90, 100,000, 115,000 subscribers. I'm still at 28. I don't care about Twitter. I'm just saying. It's kind of funny. If you want to follow me, go ahead. It's at H.A. Goodman author. And by the way, the NRA retweeted my Daily Caller article. I know that some people don't like that, but I'm really proud of that. Anyway, Real Clear Politics average, 3.2 points. You have to understand something. 3.2 points in an average of polls that are already always skewed towards Democrats anyway. And you have the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, Esquire, Vanity Fair, late night talk show hosts, all of Hollywood, newspapers throughout the country, media in general, from cable, from Bill Maher to, everything is stacked in terms of media against Trump. And the Republicans are still going to continue, hopefully Devin Nunes as Speaker of the House. But it's just unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. And it's mind-boggling how inept, how corrupt, how just stupid Democrats are. And I can go on a whole spiel about like what's wrong with the left, because I was like in that world, and I can tell you it's a world of pure hypocrisy. And there's more infighting than there is actual like a battle of ideas. They'll pick only the safest discussions, and then they'll circle the wagons and they'll say, "Oh, look at crazy conservatives! Lost Congress again. Gee, I wonder how. Maybe you shouldn't have called Jewish people Nazis, or Latino and Black conservatives. You shouldn't have tried to attack them. Maybe you shouldn't have just roamed throughout social media pretending you were fighting the alt-right, when I've never seen, almost never do you see like people on the left when they're like, this social justice war, they're never arguing with conservatives. They're always just arguing with other progressives or other liberals, telling them how crappy they are. This is a profanity alert. Do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. This is a profanity alert. Don't listen if you do not want to hear profanity. The Democratic Party exists to tell you how much of a piece of shit you are. That's really all. That's the reason it exists. Okay. So 3.2 points. This is fantastic. You have people who are like, oh my God, look at Trump. He's he's crazy. 3 reasons I'm voting for Trump. And only 2 reasons why I wouldn't. God forbid those things happen. But 3 reasons I'm voting for Trump. Number 1, he is exposing the FBI and CIA. Number 2, he's less hawkish than Clinton or any other Democrat. And he is, any Democratic nominee they cheat for in 2020. And he's presiding over, hopefully, peace between North and South Korea. Okay. And number 3 is essentially the same. He's less hawkish, exposing FBI and CIA officials, and shining a light on all the corruption from the Clinton emails to Trump Russia, all an overt cover-up and fabrication. There's no evidence of anything with Russia. No, he didn't have to collude with Russia. I already said in 2015 Clinton would lose. Nobody believed me. I was right. And in terms of the peace on the Korean Peninsula, you can't say that he's a madman. Already his foreign policy is infinitely better than 8 years of President Obama. And in terms of being hawkish, he's still less hawkish. But than any Democrat. If, God forbid, Julian Assange is arrested, sent to the United States, or if he starts a quagmire or destroys a country like Libya, I wouldn't vote for President Trump. But that's a lot of people, not just me, who feel that way. Also, I guess the third biggest reason is that you have to find a peaceful and constructive way to destroy the Democratic Party. Peacefully. From a political sense. When I say destroy, I mean politically and peacefully. I always in this day and age, you have to always be careful what you say. Oh my God. Words are even more dangerous than, actual weapons. You can go ahead, if you're on the left, and this is not really the only motivation, but it's a great thing that takes place. If you're on the left, or you started on the left and you moved more towards, reality like me, the Democratic Party needs to be dismantled peacefully and politically. And Trump does that. So all the people who will eventually vote Democrat in 2020, you're not doing anything to change the party at all. It really doesn't even matter. Well, I can go on forever. When Democrats lose the House and the Senate again, they'll see that I was right all along. And when they lose to Trump again, they'll see that I was right all along. I said from day one, you have to threaten the Democratic Party. You have to say, you're not going to vote Democrat. Sorry, you cheated Bernie Sanders. That's not what a political party does. This is not just about being cutthroat or being, politically savvy. You cheated Bernie. That's it. Not going to get my vote. Not going to get any votes. If Bernie Sanders had said, oh, you know what? We're not going to do that. Not playing that game. No, not campaigning for Clinton. The Democratic Party would have been closer to actually changing and breaking out of its insane cult paradigm. But anyway, I'm going on this long tangent. Comey is going to flip on McCabe. McCabe's going to flip on Comey. And it's game over. It's all over now. Trump knows about it. He's known about it for a while. But they've already interviewed Comey. The guy who was in charge of all these interviews, interviewing bad guys, is now the bad guy being interviewed by the U.S. government. And they're going to get information from him. They're going to get information from McCabe, especially if McCabe is criminally charged. And he will be. He'll be indicted. And when he gets indicted, that whole thing's going to come crashing down. Talking about flipping, it's just like everything they said would happen with Trump, it was happening with them. Harvey Weinstein, Eric Schneiderman, all these, Give me your thoughts below. To my progressives who are watching this channel, thank you for, watching, even though I know you don't agree with me, or you might not. You might not agree with me in terms of gun control. A lot of people are like, oh, please, you're killing me with the whole infatuation with guns and da-da-da. This is my main channel, and I want to grow my second channel, so obviously I want to use this channel because there's a lot of people who do enjoy the Second Amendment and appreciate it, and so I want to let them know that I have another channel. Already on my other channel, I have 3,200 subscribers. It's been like around 2 weeks or so. It's pretty good. And I was retweeted by the NRA, so I'm pretty happy about that. And Gun Owners of America, one of the, I think it's the CEO or not the CEO, one of the high-ranking people not the CEO, one of the high-ranking people at Gun Owners of America was very kind to me on Twitter and gave me like a really, really cool message saying, hey, glad to have you on board. And that was just really great. So I'm really happy about that. And like if you're this is not a profanity alert. This is like, I'm sorry for my progressives who are watching, but I have to just continue really quickly. You can, I love you. You can continue watching or stop watching right now because the last couple seconds. But if you are a gun owner, definitely consider joining Gun Owners of America. It's really affordable. I'm like a lifetime member now. I think it's only like $20 a month. And join the NRA too. I mean, if you want to. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm not advocating anything. Oh my God. I'm just saying that for me, I think that it's a good thing. For me, to join both Gun Owners of America and the NRA. And I'm going to look for some other organizations too. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And tell your friends about H.A. Goodman on YouTube. And if you happen to be into firearms, tell your friends about H.A. Goodman's Second Amendment. Give me your thoughts below. What do you think? How do you think McCabe and Comey are going to flip and sing on each other? Thank you so much for listening.